Hello everyone, and welcome back to Chronic Pain Club. My name is Gaia, I'm the person here without chronic pain, and I'm joined by just two of my co-hosts today. Full transparency, don't know where Emily is. So we have Abhipsha and Isabella. Why don't you both say hi?
Hi.
Everything hurts. I just got back home from work, and I've been sat at a desk all day, and there's been a lot of staring at a computer screen, so I am in agony.
And now you're going to stare at one for a half an hour more while we tell stories.
Yeah, but I'm at home, so I can, relax.
Just a little announcement for the call as well. As we usually do, everybody here has a beverage. Do you all want to hold up your beverages?
I have vanilla cola Zevia, not sponsored, but why is it clear? That trips me up
cola.
So much.
That's so good.
I have clear vanilla cola.
Isabella, you have water, yeah?
Yeah, I have water again. It's also not sponsored, but, you know.
I have
Shout out H2O.
Coffee. Shout out H2O. I have my usual coffee. This week I have gotten, and the whole reason I bring this up is because I wanted to say this before we start. I finally got my hands on some of the animal poop coffee, which is extremely hard to find and extremely expensive. One of my friends went to South America and brought me back a bag as a gift. That's what this is made out of. Not tried it yet. I will be sipping it on camera, and you can watch my facial expressions if you're listening on a video format. You can watch my facial expressions. Otherwise, I don't know, I'll put my review in the comments. Future Gaia, when you're writing the description of this episode, put your review in the comments.
The episode description is just going to be chronic pain. I just said chronic pain. Whatever.
Close enough.
Blah, blah, blah. Here's the episode. Also, the coffee was blah out of 5. Okay.
Out of 5.
I would love
really
to give coffee reviews in the I have no censor that in the description. But yeah. Okay, so I think that covers everything for me. Isabella, you're our storyteller today, right?
I am.
I am so excited. Every time you're the storyteller, everything goes off the cliff immediately.
I'm always mildly scared whenever I'm talking to Isabella about what she's gonna say next, so I'm intrigued.
The coffee tastes like vanilla.
Oh, that's huge. That's a huge win.
I did not put vanilla in it.
No, that's huge.
This is a huge
coffee,
win.
though, so maybe I'm biased.
That's pretty big.
This actually might be one of the best coffees I've ever drank, and that is very dangerous considering it's like $30-something for 100 grams.
Could not be me. That's a lie. I am buying expensive coffee.
It was my friend and not me.
I did go buy more Pilot's coffee roast. Shout out Pilots, not sponsored. So
easily the most consistent medium roast coffee I've ever had is from Pilot in South Ontario.
Oh yeah, no,
you guys are doing medium roast?
Yeah.
I'm a light to medium roast fan.
Okay.
Okay. But I do French press a lot.
I don't want to talk about it.
Do you do dark roast? Do you do super dark charred black?
Okay, we can't be friends anymore. I'm sorry.
So hear me out. If you're doing drip coffee, dark roast is really good. If you're doing a French press, it's really good. If you're doing espresso
I do French press, yeah.
If you're doing espresso or mocha pot, then dark roast will make the coffee so bitter that you'll spit it out. It depends on the brewing method.
Press, so
okay. Yeah. Dark roast works with French presses. That's why it's called a French roast when it's that dark.
But
I do French press as well, but I like a good medium roast for a French press.
Welcome to the Coffee Pain Club.
Yeah, really interesting way to start. It's just talking about our coffee habits.
This has nothing to do with
it is
what Isabella actually wanted to talk about.
Actually, it ties into the story a little bit. So, because this took place during exams, which is just so unfortunate. And I kind of brought this up a while back. I think a couple episodes ago, I gently dropped it, but I had my appendix removed recently, a couple months ago now. Because unfortunately, I had appendicitis during exam season. Now, for a little bit of context, I was doing 6 courses. I was working 2 jobs. I was volunteering, and I was part of a club, and I was and I was writing my thesis. I forget if I said that already. So I was having a lot going on, and then because I'm really an intelligent person, I had decided to start talking with a guy around this point, and I was really crashing out about that too, because it was messy.
Don't worry, guys. She stopped crashing out last week.
It was a bad time, but it's fine because we moved on from it. But anyway,
1 week.
Well, to be fair, the guy situation was about 3 months.
No, I say you moved on in 1 week.
Okay, it wasn't that important of a guy. He was a guy. Like let's be so honest here. Come on now.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway.
Shout out feminism.
And also shout out to the guy that I was talking to. It was very nice. I'm sorry for kind of dissing you there. But was not that important. So, anyways, I was going through a lot. And then this was around the time that I had exams starting. I had decided to pick up a bunch of shifts before, during exam season. Because I was like, oh, my classes have ended, or were about to end. So I'll have a bunch of more time, and I don't really have that many in-person exams. So I'll have a lot more time, and I was about to move into a new place, which the rent was going to increase. So I was like, I need the money. So I picked up a bunch of shifts, and I was like, I just need to power through and finish my thesis right now, and then start exam prep. And I started feeling just awful, which you guys can look at the name of this podcast. You know that that's nothing surprising. I went, wow, I feel awful.
Okay.
But it does not matter.
We already know where this story is going. It was not this. It was not the usual awful. This was a new awful.
It was a new awful, but I didn't really know that at the time. I just thought, oh, my diet's been a little bit weird, so I have a stomach ache. And then this would have been on Sunday night after work, so I had already done like a shift, and then I was like, I need to finish my thesis tonight, and I had already put it off by 2 days because my stomach was really bothering me, and then I was like, I have no more excuses, I just have to finish this thesis. So I was powering through it, and this was a couple days after I passed out at the library while working. And so I was really just having a bad time, but I was like, my health is crazy right now, we're just going to keep going.
Exam season. It's always funky around then.
And that's what I was saying. And I was like, man, I really need to like eat a little bit better right now. But again, my stomach was just killing me. And then I was like, oh, but my stomach's hurting, so I should eat better, but I can't eat better because my stomach hurts. It was an entire mess. And then I was like, wow, this is like awful. But I finished my thesis and I submitted it, and I was like, yippee, this is huge. And I was like, I need to just like, I was like, I just need to go to bed. So
sorry. I feel bad. Okay.
I love that we just hard stopped her there. I'm so sorry.
So anyways, I finished my thesis, thank you. And then I was like, actually, everything that I was going to do, we're gonna put that aside and we're going to go to bed. This was at like 9 p.m., which is an hour and a half before I usually go to sleep. So it was like really bad.
That's okay. No, hour and a half.
sleep.
I feel like a moderately bad day could get me an hour and a half early.
Okay, but when you go to bed at 10:30, like going to bed an hour and a half, like before, like you're going to bed pretty early, right?
You're just gonna wake up at 5 a.m. It's fine.
No, and that's exactly what happened. But then I was like, oh, my stomach is just really hurting. This is the worst. And then I told my friend, I was like, man, my stomach really hurts. Like, I don't know what's going on with it. And then I went to work. And so I went to work and I started like blacking out, but I was like, okay, dehydrated, let's go. And so I went to work, was blacking out a little bit, crashed into a wall, stood back up. I went, anyways, that's crazy. And then I went and got coffee. So I went and got coffee, and then I sat outside, and I actually texted the guy that I was talking to at the time, like, wow, it's crazy that like sitting outside with a coffee, actually my health problems are gone. Like, I was being dramatic. Like, life really is that easy sometimes. And then I went to my classes. This is the last like half week of school, so this is the Monday. Classes ended on Wednesday. And I went to my one class, and then I went to my next class, which was a seminar. So this was around 1:30, and I was like, this is the worst stomachache of my life. And at that time I had I journal a lot, and in my journal I wrote, my stomach hurts something miserable, but I think it's the diet. And then I went off to my next class. And again, this is the seminar, and I text my friends, and I'm like, man, I just feel awful. And then I told the person next to me too, I was like, I have the worst stomachache of my life. And I feel so bad for her. I'm so sorry. Because she was about to catch a flight, and I could see like the fear in her eyes that I was sick, and I had to be like, oh, I'm not sick. Like, she really did not believe me at all. And I was like, okay, my bad. But anyways, partway through that, I felt like I was dying. And then I had this really bad feeling, and I started Googling appendix, which
here it comes. Here it comes.
I was reading all of it, and I was like, am I being paranoid, or is my appendix actually about to burst? And you start Googling symptoms, and then you're like, am I actually feeling these, or am I gaslighting myself into thinking I'm feeling these?
Do I have terminal brain cancer?
Yeah, I was like, maybe not. And then I was like, when should I get when should you see a doctor to see if you should get your appendix out? So I had all these tabs open. My professor's like, did anyone do the readings? And I'm like, I think I need to go to the hospital. What I ended up doing was I texted my friends, and I was like, hey, can you drop me off at the ER in about 3 hours? And they were like, what? I was like,
Girl,
yeah, in about
3?
Well, here's the thing. I wanted to finish my seminar, which had 2 hours left. And then I wanted time to go home and charge my phone and get changed and have a little snack. So I was like, can you drop me off at 3 hours?
You should not have a snack if you're about to undergo emergency surgery, by the way.
I didn't know that. I thought I was being a little bit dramatic, and they went, what's going on? And I went, oh, I think my appendix is in the middle of about to burst. And they went, so we need to get you there now. And I went, well,
yeah.
Well, if it's going to burst now, 3 hours, it doesn't really matter. And they went, girl, get out of that class and don't walk home. And I went, too late. I'm already walking home. So I walked home.
Okay, so you did get out of the class, though.
I did.
We have saved 2 hours. We have saved 2 hours already in your 3-hour plan.
Yes. They managed to convince me, and I get dropped off at the hospital, and I talk to them. And they're like, oh, this is bad. And I'm like, they're like, do you want painkillers? And I'm like, no, I took some Tylenol this morning, and I took a little bit of some Tylenols the night before. And they were like, okay. And I was like, don't worry about it. And they were like, okay, perfect. Because I was like, maybe if it's because I was afraid that it was just a bad stomachache, and if I took a Tylenol, it would kill it entirely, and then they wouldn't want to look into it at all. They'd be like, there it is, right?
Oh.
So I was like, okay, no, I don't really need Tylenol or a painkiller that's heavier than that either. And so I was sitting in the ER, and if anyone is familiar with ERs, they usually take a really long time. So I knew it was a really bad sign when they got me through in 4 hours. And I was like, oh dear. And so the doctor that saw me, he asked me no less than 9 times, maybe upwards of 15, if it was possibly my period. And I was like, no, I don't think that's what's causing this. I think, maybe, but I don't know what's going on. And so he was like, listen, I think you need to come in tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. and we're going to do a scan. But just in case, you're not allowed to eat anything. You're not allowed to eat anything. You're not allowed to drink anything from this point on. And you have to chug, the liquid stuff that they give you for a scan, and you put.
Yep.
Except that they were like, you have to finish all of this. And I was like, oh. The only place that was open, because by the time everything was sorted, by the way, it was 11:30 p.m. I started this journey at 3:30 because it did take me a little bit, because I did insist on charging my phone. But here's the thing. I had not had anything to eat that morning because I felt sick until the coffee at noon after my work, but I hadn't had supper the day before either, or lunch. So I was now sitting here having not had any food since Sunday morning. I had a coffee since then, and then they told me that I was not allowed to eat or drink, and I was like, oh, this is also awful. And anyways, you guys already know I did have to get my appendix removed. They put me through emergency surgery. They went, yep, we got to get this girl through and just operate on her.
So did they discharge you that night and you had to come back the next day?
Yes.
So what happened in that time frame?
I went home and I chugged a bottle. There was nothing open for me to buy anything good, so I did drink, like, the worst, like, fruit punch you've ever drank from a gas station?
Oh, yeah.
I had to put the mix into that, and then I went home and I didn't sleep, and I sat on the couch and moaned a little bit. I was like, ugh, I feel like I'm dying. And then I did that, and they said if it gets worse, come back immediately. If it gets better, come back immediately. But they were like, you know what, you'll be back in 6 hours. And I was like, awesome. So I did just go home. And I was like, thanks, guys. But it was fine because I came back in the morning and they went, yeah, we have to do emergency surgery on you. So as soon as they had available space, they rushed me through and they operated on me. Unfortunately, that available space was like, it was now Tuesday, right? So Sunday, I was like, ugh. Monday, I went in. Tuesday, they operated on me. Tuesday afternoon. I still had not had any food or water. And I was like...
So it's been 48 hours now without food.
Did they give you the IV at least so you had nutrients in? Okay, good.
They did give me the IV. But then,
your stomach is still empty.
Yeah. My stomach is completely empty. And then I come out of surgery and I came out like around, like, by the way, my main priorities, I was so upset because I had gotten my belly button pierced a couple months before this. And first of all, I was so upset that I had to take out my belly button piercing to the point where the first thing that I said when I came out of surgery, I was like, belly button. And they were like, what's going on? Like the nurse, she was like, who was like watching over me, she was like, does your belly button hurt? Like, what's going on? Because that's one of the areas where they operated on me, was like, they cut like right into my belly button. I was like, no. Like my belly button piercing. And they went like, what are you talking about? Like, did they like cut it? Is like something wrong? And I went, no, like, I need to put my belly button piercing back in. And she was like, no.
No.
Do you want a popsicle? Like, okay. And then I was eating the popsicle, which is the first food I've had now in forever.
What?
And I was talking to
very important question. What flavor popsicle was it?
I don't even remember.
That's so fair.
The after emergency surgery popsicle when you haven't eaten for like 24 hours goes so hard.
Best
it is heaven.
It was the best.
It is heaven.
It's that and emergency room orange juice. Like, so good.
I was sitting there eating the popsicle, telling her that I needed to get my belly button piercing back in. And then I just started explaining to her the talking stage that I was in with this guy. And I explained the entire thing to this nurse. And I ended it with, but don't let me text him. Don't let me text him. And she was like, okay, girl. And then I get to my room. And as soon as I saw my phone, I was like, okay. And the nurses who were now in my room, they saw me looking at my phone and moved it away from me. And I was like, okay.
Those are some real ones.
But I was like, don't make any sense. So, like, put it away and I don't know what's going on. Because I'm still, like, loopy. I don't deal with, like, anesthesia well.
I love the post-anesthetic state. It's such a...
Like, I was like, don't make any sudden movements. None. And so as soon as the nurses left the room, I went, perfect. They don't think that I know where my phone is anymore because I had moved it away underneath the clothing. And immediately I grabbed my phone and immediately the first thing I did was text him. And I was like, we're so back.
Okay.
But anyways, and then this was again, it's like 6 p.m. I obviously was not hungry at all. I had the popsicle. I was doing great. The next morning, I had to stay the night in the hospital, obviously. So now it's Wednesday. I've now missed the entire last week of classes, which was unfortunate. I was emailing my professors like, by the way, I'm going into emergency surgery. And also my thesis presentation was the next day.
Nice.
And I was like, this is awesome, actually. I'm so glad that I'm here. And so I actually got really, like, they let me leave the hospital Wednesday afternoon, and I still had not eaten anything because, like, I tried to eat a little bit of, like, oatmeal, and then I, like, immediately felt like, I was like, this cannot happen right now.
You can't. For anyone that's not had general anesthesia, if you try to eat after being on general anesthesia, your body will not be happy with you.
No.
I remember when I was on general anesthesia, I went home and just downed an entire bowl of soup.
Yeah, so it's now Wednesday, and I have not had proper food outside of the popsicle, shout out, and the liter of gas station Kool-Aid is since Sunday morning. And I was like, this is the worst. Oh, and a coffee on Monday. Shout out to the coffee.
Shout out to the coffee on Monday, for real.
The coffee is
coffee.
the best. The coffee
is the main character.
The coffee is the best, like, most supportive character in the story, I think.
And let me tell
Totally
you,
not the friends who forced you to go to the hospital.
No.
Yeah.
No. And then had to drive me there, drive me back, and then drive me the next morning, and then come in after the surgery. Anyways, irrelevant. I actually had to take the bus, and they wouldn't let me do that either.
No, that's very strictly banned.
Anyways, so then I'm released on the Wednesday, and I went, uh-oh, I have a meeting with my supervisor today. I have to present my thesis tomorrow. I have no food in like 3 days, or water in like forever. I had drank a little bit of water at this point. I felt awful, and I joined the call to talk with my thesis supervisor, and she looks at me and she goes, "You look awful." And I was like, yeah, I just had surgery, but I didn't tell any of my professors what the surgery was for. I just said that I was in the hospital. I was like, sorry, I had to go in for emergency surgery. My appendix was like, had to come out ASAP. And she was like, no, I figured when you like cancel, because that's not really like you, but also you're not going to the thing tomorrow. And I was like, don't be ridiculous. I'm presenting in the first half. I'll just show up to the first half and then I'll go home. And she went, are you able to walk? And I was like, no, but I can get a ride, don't worry. And she was like, are you able to sit up? Because it doesn't look like you're sitting up right now. And I went, no, I can't do that either, but I can make it tomorrow. Do not worry, I'll write my speech and I'll send it in. Don't worry about that one. And she was like, no, you're not presenting your thesis tomorrow. Like I'm putting my foot down. You are not going. And I was like, that's ridiculous. I then got emails from 3 separate professors telling me that I was not allowed to be on campus tomorrow or show up to the thesis presentation to listen, to present, nothing. They were like, I do not want to see you. I don't even want to like receive your like speech. They were like, I do not want you writing your speech right now and sending it to me. I do not want to see an email from you until Friday. So they did have to ban me from showing up to my own thesis presentation. Because I was so insistent that I could make it to the first half when I was still unable to sit up.
Hey,
on my own.
They can never claim you're not dedicated to your academics.
As you guys all know how finals goes, I was so far behind on like where I wanted to be to begin with and already needed extensions for my 6 classes. So then I had to do 10 final papers. I had to do 10 final papers in the span of 8 days after I got my appendix removed. And I had to do 2 exams.
You know you can postpone those.
And I did not do that.
You know that they can be moved to like a different week forward, right?
Well, here's the thing. My only in-person exam was the last day, last time slot. And the guy that I was talking to was in that class. And I wanted to see him.
Okay, honestly, I respect that. I respect it so much.
No, actually, I don't. I have never known Isabella to be someone that down bad.
I'm having...
Here's the thing. He was low-key, like, ghosting me at the time. Turns out he wasn't actually ghosting me at all. He was just studying. And I was super, like, high off of anesthetics. And I was like, he hasn't texted me in forever. And it had been, like, 1 day. It had been 12 hours. And so I decided not to postpone my exam.
I'm having a little bit of deja vu right now. Because I had to get gallbladder surgery when I was in high school. And there are too many parallels to the way your appendicitis operation went, Isabella.
Let's go.
Because it was during midterms, not finals. I did text one of my teachers after the surgery just saying, hey, by the way, I'm not going to be in school tomorrow because I had surgery. All right, see ya.
Yeah. No, I didn't even tell one of my professors that I had surgery. I just was like, you know what? She'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And then I emailed the professor that I walked out of her class of, and I went, sorry for leaving the class abruptly, have to get emergency surgery. And by the way, about 4 days after this surgery, the doctors were telling me that I should do like some light walking, so I decided to walk to the cafe that I go to, which is like 25-minute walk, whatever, down a hill, but it doesn't matter. And as I was leaving my house, I ran into two of my professors. And I was standing there,
all right, Isabella, when they say light walking, they mean pace around your room.
Yeah, they don't mean go outside.
Okay, well, anyways, so I walk out of my house, run into my two professors immediately, and I look at them and I go, oh, I'm gonna get my papers, and don't worry, I'm about to go do them. And they looked at me and they went, you look awful. And I went, yeah, no, this is the first day that I'm able to stand. And they were like, you don't worry about your papers. Like, what are you talking about? Like, you can do your papers after, like, we can postpone these. And I went, don't you worry, I'll be getting them done. And they were like, no, where are you going? And I was like, don't worry about the papers, guys. And I walked down to the cafe, and here's the thing, the cafe that I go to opens at 7:30, so this 7 a.m. in the morning, I'm walking down a couple days after surgery, and I was like, here we go, guys. Getting these papers done. And yeah, both of my professors looked at me and they went, you look awful. You look like you should not be outside of your house. And I went, doctor said I should be walking a little bit. And they were like, you concern me as a person.
Yeah, they gave up. You know what? I don't blame them.
At the end of the day, I got everything done. I submitted everything. And not to flex, but again, did well. Okay. And I also, by the way, I managed to show up to work. I was attending all of the shifts that I signed up for. And also my manager was like, why did you show up to your shift when you finished surgery 3 days ago? And I was like, well, you see, I needed the money. And she went, girl, what are you talking about? Don't go to work 3 days after surgery. And I went, don't worry, queen. I'm here.
Oh my god.
But anyways.
Okay.
That's life.
I really want to judge you with so many of these things I have done. So I'm just like...
Shout out to the guy that I was talking to, because single-handedly got me to that exam. Because I would have postponed that exam so bad.
And you did well.
And I hated preparing for that exam. So...
We're at time, so I have to stop us here. Isabella, what the hell? Okay.
Yeah.
For those of you listening, thank you so much for tuning in this long. I say this every time. Make sure to tune into my other podcast, Secret World Society, which these two are going to be voicing in next week. I'm going to be getting you guys to do voicing, so early July. All right.
Cool.
Thank you so much, Isabella. We'll see you all next time.
Don't do anything that Isabella did.
Go to the hospital if you need to.
Go to the hospital.
Go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Text the boy. Text the boy.
Don't
text the boy.
I'm ending recording.